One punch shattered a jaw in two places. Another punch shattered an ego in front of the entire world. On December 19, 2025, Anthony Joshua didn't simply defeat Jake Paul. He dismantled an idea, a narrative, and a cultural experiment that had blurred the line between entertainment and elite combat sports. Inside the Casaya Center in Miami, the final knockout didn't just end a fight. It sent shockwaves through boxing, social media, streaming platforms, and the global sports economy. This was not just about winning. It was about hierarchy. It was a brutal reminder that there are levels to the fight game, and Anthony Joshua operates on a plane few can ever reach. But violence was only half the story that night. The other half was money, an almost obscene amount of it. Nearly $100 million earned in less than 18 minutes of sanctioned combat. That kind of payday forces a deeper question. What kind of life is built on that level of controlled destruction? How does a modern gladiator, a man whose profession is breaking other men, actually spend such a fortune? To understand the empire, we must return to the night it all crystallized. The Miami air was heavy with humidity and hubris. The Casaya Center became the chosen arena for a collision of worlds. On one side stood Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, master of controversy, fueled by clicks, algorithms, and relentless self-belief. On the other stood Anthony Joshua, a two-time unified heavyweight champion, sculpted by decades of discipline, tradition, and elite-level violence. The fight was promoted as Judgment Day. It was framed as a referendum on boxing itself. Could a digital age disruptor, no matter how dedicated, truly stand against heavyweight legitimacy? Or would tradition reassert itself with devastating finality? The buildup was psychological warfare. Jake Paul did what he always does. He talked, loudly, constantly. He claimed he was more important to boxing than Joshua. He mocked the establishment. He taunted the champion, attempting to provoke emotion. Joshua responded with silence. Cold, focused, unbothered. At the weigh-in, he finally spoke. Leaning into the microphone, he delivered a line that would become prophecy. "You're going to get messed up." No theatrics, no shouting, just certainty. The physical disparity told an even harsher story. Joshua weighed in at a lean and powerful 243 pounds. Paul came in at 216.6. A 27-pound difference at heavyweight is not cosmetic. It is catastrophic. Add to that Joshua's 5-inch height advantage and 6-inch reach edge, and the outcome felt inevitable. Bookmakers reflected reality, listing Joshua as a massive 12-to-1 favorite. From the opening bell, the gap between reality and hype collapsed. Joshua claimed the center of the ring immediately, moving like a predator that understood its dominance. Paul circled, retreated, and searched for space that simply didn't exist. Joshua's jab was not a probing tool. It was a weapon, heavy, precise, and relentless. It snapped Paul's head back and destroyed any rhythm he tried to build. The first 2 rounds were not competitive. They were educational. By round 3, panic began to creep into Paul's movements. He lunged forward recklessly, desperate to close distance. He clinched repeatedly, leaning on Joshua's strength just to survive. At one point, he stumbled and fell without being touched, undone by his own footwork. Joshua never rushed. He never forced chaos. He dissected. Round 5 marked the turning point. A brutal body shot visibly hurt Paul, folding him inward and draining what little resistance remained. Moments later, a clean right hand sent him crashing to the canvas. He rose, showing heart, but the damage was irreversible. Just before the bell, another combination dropped him again. The 6th round was inevitable. A savage uppercut snapped Paul's head back, leaving him defenseless. A final right hand sent him collapsing face first onto the canvas. The referee waved it off without hesitation. The crowd erupted. As one journalist wrote later that night, sanity had returned to boxing. The aftermath revealed two very different realities. Joshua was calm, professional, respectful. "He's tough," he said, acknowledging Paul's resilience while reaffirming his own superiority. The win erased doubts created by his earlier loss to Daniel Dubois and placed him firmly back in line for generational fights against names like Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Jake Paul's night ended in fluorescent hospital lighting. X-rays revealed a shattered jaw in 2 places. Surgery was required. Titanium plates were inserted to hold his face together. From a hospital bed, swollen and bloodied, Paul admitted the truth to his followers. "I got my ass kicked." For a man whose brand was built on image, it was the ultimate humiliation. While Paul counted stitches, Joshua counted zeros. The Netflix broadcasted spectacle generated a reported $187 million in total revenue. Joshua's share landed at approximately $94 million guaranteed. Less than 18 minutes of work for a sum that most people could not earn in multiple lifetimes. That single fight permanently altered Anthony Joshua's financial trajectory. As of 2026, conservative estimates place his net worth between $180 million and $280 million. His total career earnings now exceed $300 million, placing him among the highest-paid fighters in combat sports history. But the true difference between Joshua and many before him lies in what he did next. In 2022, Joshua signed a landmark agreement with DAZN. It was not merely a broadcast deal. He became a global ambassador, strategic advisor, and most importantly, a shareholder. This was the pivot. Joshua stopped being paid by the system and started owning part of it. Equity replaced appearance fees. Long-term growth replaced short-term cash. Then came real estate. Through his firm, 258 Investments, Joshua quietly assembled one of the most impressive property portfolios in British sport. Valued between $200 and $250 million, the portfolio includes high-value commercial and residential assets. Among them is a massive commercial estate in Hertfordshire, formerly used as BP headquarters, acquired for over $30 million. In London's ultra-exclusive Mayfair district, his company purchased a mixed-use building for approximately $25 million, followed by a neighboring property valued near $20 million. He also owns a prime commercial building on Baker Street, reportedly purchased for $35 million. Internationally, Joshua expanded into the Middle East, acquiring a luxury penthouse in Oman complete with panoramic views, private spa facilities, and a custom-built boxing gym. While other athletes collect liabilities, Joshua collects assets. The luxury is still there, but it is controlled. His garage includes a bespoke Range Rover SV autobiography customized with his personal branding, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Mercedes-AMG C63, and a Jaguar XJR. His watch collection features rare and limited pieces, including the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Concept Black Panther Tourbillon, valued at over $160,000. Yet the true engine of his empire is business. Through 258 MGT, Joshua controls his career and manages the careers of rising stars like Ben Whittaker and Ramla Ali. Endorsement deals with Under Armour, Hugo Boss, and Jaguar Land Rover generate an estimated $8 to $10 million annually. Perhaps most importantly, Joshua is changing boxing's most tragic narrative. Partnering with Evelyn Partners, he launched a financial literacy initiative for fighters, teaching wealth preservation, investment strategy, and long-term planning. In a sport known for champions going broke, Joshua is building a system that protects futures. From the streets of Watford to global dominance, Anthony Joshua has built more than a fighting career. He has built an empire defined by discipline, patience, and strategic power. With equity in media, dominance in real estate, and influence in the next generation of boxing, the question is no longer whether he can become a billionaire. The question is simply when. If you enjoyed this deep dive into power, money, and legacy, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Because here, We don't just talk about fights. We break down empires,